And that was all fine and dandy, and we used to do funny things when we were bored. Like one time we bought this camera at Radio Shack, and you could see it on your television screen. You just back in the old days of UHF and VHF, you could it was marvelous. You could move this camera around. So we hooked it up to our dog in the backyard just to see what he would do, and we would go inside the house and watch what our dog was doing. He'd look at the ground, look at the sky. So he started barking, and I'm sorry, Mark Farner. And she jumped over the fence, and we were going to run and chase her, but we were like, no, we just go watch her where she goes on the television set. And she ran immediately to our next door neighbor's backyard, and there was the woman that was taking a dump by the 72 in Cleveland, giving a blowjob to our next door neighbor.
You know, that's something I'm sorry we didn't have time for. It was a whole section about their dog, Mark Farner. Mark Farner was part of the band. Mark Farner was Paul's dog, named after the guitar player from Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
But we had a whole section on her.
Gibby gave her the name. She came to the dog pound in San Antonio. She was really the band dog, but I ended up with her when it was all said and done. Gibby never forgave her for biting him that one time.
I wonder if we should have named her Mel Shocker. Don Brewer, Mel Shocker.
Is he the bass player?
Grand Funk Railroad.
Okay. And there was another great story that we actually shot in a puppet show for them, but didn't have time for, where they, at their most whacked out, when they had their craziest looks, they went to a crab shack for a dinner, and the waitress came up and said, the cook says you guys are a band. What band are you? And Paul, what did you say?
I don't know what the fuck.
And Paul said, we're Journey. She went away and came back later and said, the cook says you're not Journey.
Paul, I'm curious about Texas, because I feel like Texas has so many like kind of out there interesting bands, going back to like Rocky Erickson and like, you know, like the Big Boys and the New Guys and all that kind of stuff. What do you think it is about Texas that breeds kind of like an interesting band like that? Do you think it's because of the tour routing and all of that, or what do you think it is exactly?
And it's
Willie Nelson's birthday today.
Wow. 100 and what?
I don't know what it is about Texas, other than the fact that it wasn't California or New York. And California and New York had scenes, and you kind of, you know, were a thrash this way or a whatever that way. And Texas, there was just none of that. So you could be whatever the fuck you wanted to be. And they came up with some really cool bands. You know, Stickman with Ray Guns was always one of my favorites. And nobody's ever heard them because they didn't do a whole lot of recording, and they didn't travel well.
They have a bit of a renaissance lately, I think. And Cherubs, obviously.
The Stickmen are having a renaissance?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Wow.
a lot of those records are getting repressed.
Uh-huh.
And the
Bobby
Dicks,
Sox,
Big
oh my
Boys.
God, singer.
Yeah.
Oh.